What's happening, y'all? I want to talk about a topic today, and I'm trying to stay on topic. And the topic is how to get out of drugs and the negative environment. Well, for a lot of people, it's hard to do. It's hard because of where they live and the surroundings and the people that they associate with. Over the period of time of meeting people, they seem to meet people that do the same thing they do. So, of course, after knowing these people for a good period of time, it turns out that you and them are, like ratchet buddies, So, let's talk about the problem first. The problem, and I'm talking about us right now, but I already know that this extends out to more than just black people. This extends out to every race that we know. Everybody got some ratchet people in their race. All right. As we know, history will tell, based on the way that black people were treated over time, that the world, and it doesn't matter what country you go to, black people are looked down upon. In Africa, we are basically the majority in Africa. Not in South Africa, well, in South Africa too, but we're not in control mostly of South Africa, it seems as if. So, still, even there, you got your white settlers there, and they have carved out a paradise for themselves. Same type of paradise that you see here in the United States, the same type of stuff that Trump has going on with all this beautiful land and beautiful property and pools and horses and all that stuff now is in South Africa. Of course, the black people are not, accessed to those particular places other than working for them, like paid servants. I won't say slave because they are getting paid. They may be getting paid very little, but it's a living for them, And then now you have your situation where no matter where you go, black people are looked down upon, and it's sad, and it's been a plan from the very beginning of time. As far back as you can remember. I'll go as far as the slavery time. That's where a lot of the stuff really hit the fan when the Civil War, basically right before the Civil War broke out. And we all know why the Civil War broke out. I'm not trying to get into a history lesson right now. Basically, I was just going back a little bit just to remind everybody the situation that black people are in and why. And the current situation that we're in, it seems as if that we have been, from one generation to the next, have been beat down, and all these systems to hold us down, all these ways to basically turn our mind against each other. And over time, from one generation to the next, it basically worked. If you look at the majority, well, I ain't gonna say the majority. If you look at a lot of black people today and how they live and how they think that the ratchet way of life, is the way to be. And it's not. It really isn't. I don't think any of us were born to live, such a hard struggle and live like nothing matters, like lawless. I'm having a problem with my lens right now, I think. Maybe I'm moving too much. But, yeah, I don't think none of us were born for that. I don't think that's what we should be living like. But, we're born into certain situations and certain families, you know, and we don't have a choice. We have to survive best way we can. And a lot of us have been taught, you know, from the parents and the parents' parents, like the grandmother and the grandfather. They all have a very low self-esteem for themselves, and they teach that to their kids, and their kids grow up thinking the same way, you know, and they think basically that stealing something from somebody, robbing from somebody is okay. You know, they teach their kids to be little thugs and grow up to be big thugs, which is extremely horrible. I'm saying this about my own people because I do have a lot to say as far as this don't just extend out to black folks. It extends out to every race that there is. So, but I'm just talking about mine. Why? I'm talking about mine because of who I am. I am black. And I'm not trying to avoid or neglect the fact that we have issues. And if we don't address the issue will continue like it has from way back from when I was a young boy. I mean, there was a whole bunch of ratchetness going on back then, you know, but now it's come to another level. So I think that if we're going to put videos out and talk about black folks or talk about ratchetness, I think that we should do a follow-up, a chaser of course, the flip side. And that's what I plan on doing. You know, I'm not going to just leave you with the thought of all black people are no good, because that is far from the truth. Because I have run across a lot of positive black people that are making some positive moves in their lives, and they're young too. A whole bunch of young black men and women are doing some good things out here, man. You know, now it depends on what you surround yourself with. You know, if you surround yourself with all the ratchetness and the gangster bull crap life, then that's what you see. That's your world. That's what you are accustomed to. But if you know, break yourself out of it, you know, and the way out, to be honest with you, is to change your environment. If you can't change your environment, you have to change how you think and what you believe in your heart. You have to change that. You can live in the same location, but your mind and your heart is not in the same location. You have to separate the two. And the only way to do that, which I've done, this is why I can speak on it, is that I had to basically tear myself away from that world. I had to do something that was going to occupy my time better. You know, so in other words, I'll give you an example. If you live in the projects, okay, or if you live in an apartment building, and everybody that you know in that apartment building basically believes on not working and getting you know, assistance from the system, and having, you know, multiple children so they can get more money, and selling food stamps to whoever will buy them. You know, if that's the case, then, you know, that is the situation that is considered ratchetness and just wrong. I'm pausing for a minute because where I'm sitting, they are acting like they're cleaning the window of Walmart, and they're basically just looking at me, and they're taking a very long time to clean this one little window. So yeah, well, never mind that. But back on topic is that you know, if you live in those type of areas, and these are the type of personalities and lifestyles that's been shared with one another, this is how they grow, and they become grown people, thinking and hustling and scamming and robbing and hurting and doing all that to each other. You know, calling each other niggas, because that is one of the lowest forms of respect. To me, I don't care how you try to flip it. You know, you could be the richest man in the world and you're going to try to put a gold star on nigga. It doesn't work, you know, and it never will. And a lot of the A lot of the comedians would use the word nigger in a funny manner, but then when they're not on stage and somebody, especially somebody white, calls them nigger, they get highly offended about it. But in their work as a comedian, how they get paid, or even an actress or actor or rapper or whatever, you know, they get highly offended and then they want to get violent. So it's like a double standard, and I don't abide by it. I don't live by that. I don't want nobody calling me nigger. I don't want a black man calling me a nigger, and I definitely don't want any other race calling me a nigger. I'm offended either way, you know. I don't think that we should have the exclusive on calling each other nigger and get away with it and laugh about it. I think it's stupid. So that's my opinion, right? I'm just one man, just making his, you know, voicing his opinion about that. And the way out of